You upset that the new Doctor was breaking canon? That's nothing. I'll show you how Russell T Davies even violated his own canon he established within this very season. And Mrs. Flood, I think we know who she is too, and the answer will stun you with such an overwhelming wave of apathy and indifference. While House of the Dragon has its talents full shaming other shows, The Acolyte and Doctor Who have been in a race to the bottom. But they're going about it in two very different ways. The Acolyte is outright hilarious in the sheer writing ineptitude on display, but for Doctor Who, I think Russell T Davies just doesn't care.
It does have that obligatory birthday card from your grandma with $5 tucked inside kind of vibe.
Right you are, Doge. No care or thought at all. While I literally could spend the next hour pointing out all the plot holes and nonsensical whatnot going on in this rather flat season finale, I want to instead focus on the moment where Davies breaks his own canon, because that's the pinnacle of his indifference. After defeating Sutekh
by dragging him through the time vortex and spreading death a second time to bring everything back to life.
Well, sure, everyone knows that if you poison your lawn, all you have to do is poison it a second time and everything will grow back green and lush.
Two wrongs do make a right.
Anyway, after defeating Sutekh, they go on the hunt for Ruby's mother. They travel to the future to access the DNA database that was established by the evil Prime Minister that Ruby defeated in the episode 73 Yards, Roger Ap William. A database that shouldn't exist.
Because Ruby defeated him. Don't forget that the temporary TARDIS was powered by her memories that were being shown on that TV screen they were carrying around. Memories that she didn't actually have due to the time loop. They shouldn't have been able to see those because they never existed.
Wait. This might be worse than I thought. Hold on a second, let me think this through. In 73 Yards, the Doctor breaks the fairy circle, which sends Ruby on the path to defeating the Prime Minister.
And she succeeded.
Right, but at the end of that loop, her older self prevented the Doctor from breaking the circle when he came out of the TARDIS.
Yeah?
But if he didn't break the circle, that means Ruby was never sent down the path to defeat the Prime Minister. He rose to power and put the planet on the path to nuclear war.
And he would have created the DNA database.
So instead of saving the Earth, old Ruby actually screwed up and ruined all the good she did? She lived an entire lifetime in that timeline for nothing? What was the point of that episode?
The sad part is, I bet Davies probably fancied himself as being incredibly clever.
That episode was more pointless than we thought it was. Oh my God, this makes my head hurt.
Just another mystery box he didn't feel the need to pay off.
Why was Ruby so important? She wasn't. Why was her mom important? She wasn't. Why was it snowing? Doesn't matter. What was the importance of the Christmas song? Doesn't matter. Davies, if you keep telling your audience that nothing matters, they're going to believe you, and none of it will matter. Which brings us to the final mystery box, Mrs. Flood. I noticed two potential clues. One, she's dressed like this. And who else dressed like this? Clara. And after she's restored from getting dusted with Grandma, she says, whose catchphrase was that? Clara.
Run, you clever boy.
But I'm sorry to say there is one little problem with this theory. Let's say it is Clara. So what? It doesn't mean anything. What if it's somebody else we know? One of the other gods? A regenerated Susan? He's already told us it doesn't mean anything.
Davies has gone way out of his way to make sure that the audience doesn't care.
But even if this had been the most incredible episode of Doctor Who ever made, he systematically made sure that over the course of this season, most of the audience would never have made it this far. The ratings are the lowest in the show's entire 63-year run.
Well, to be fair, they were lower in those 17 years when the show was off the air. But considering they had the double advantage of following up Jodie's run and the fact the show was getting worldwide distribution for the first time ever, ratings should have been up by default. So this is quite the horrific accomplishment.
Well, we have one more season in this Disney contract to go, and as I laid out in this video, that's probably going to be it for a while after that.
Maybe he's deliberately devaluing the IP in order to buy it.
God, I hope not. Either way, it's time to break out the DVDs and cleanse our palate.
Speaking of Grandma, what was the deal with her? She spends all season bedridden, then pulls a Grandpa Joe?
Stop.
So if Sutek had been on the TARDIS all these years, did Shooty clone him when he duplicated the TARDIS?
We said we weren't going to do this.
Oh, that means there's another Sutek on Earth.
Doge.
Wouldn't Sutek have blown up when the TARDIS blew up?
Doge.
What about when the TARDIS became a real person? Wouldn't she have told him? As the world's ending, did we forget that there's another doctor with another TARDIS in London
Stop.
who can actually get through a scene
Please
without
stop.
crying?
You know, I did enjoy that scene next to the elevators where he sinks to the floor in tears and Mel has to be the one to tell him to man up. That showed a weird kind of self-awareness for the show. I still enjoyed that, though.
Let's go touch some grass. I have business to attend to.
After all, it's what Shooty wanted us to do in the first place. We probably should have listened. Stay fresh, cheese bags.
Sack Russell T Davies.